Oh, the Morning Glory milking farm.
Yeah, Morning Glory. Yeah. So apparently there's a cow appreciation day on the 2nd of July. I was like, do you want to read it for the 2nd of July?
Oh my god.
Whew, okay. I wasn't ready for that. Well, that can be our smutty special for July.
It was just, I don't know why I thought of that. And I was like, that's funny.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the Book Talk Babes podcast. This episode will contain spoilers for the Kiss Quotient. Please check the episode description for a list of any other books that we spoil. My name is Ashley, and today I'm joined by my two lovely friends, Elaine.
Hello.
And Liana.
I'm sorry, I went back to the cow appreciation.
This episode will contain explicit language. Thank you, returning listeners, and welcome new ones. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find some way to put that cow appreciation thing. I'll just put it before the intro.
Oh my god.
Oh goodness.
Cows.
I thought it was funny.
You leave the cows alone.
That's awesome. I gotta, I'm gonna. Ooh, hold on. I gotta write that down so I don't forget to add that to the thing. But in honor of cow appreciation, our smutty special for July is gonna be.
Oh god.
Okay, it is noted. I'm gonna add that to the show notes whenever I make the episode thing.
July 2nd is a Tuesday.
Oh, fucking perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Could not have planned better.
Meant to be. The planets have aligned.
That PowerPoint is going to be...
Woo!
Oh, God.
It's going to be exciting. Okay. So this is... I got this wrong last time. This is... What month is this? 4. So it's book discussion number 4. Correct? We all in agreement there?
Yes, because it's month 4.
Yeah.
April, yes.
So we had... Yeah. Because we had Cocainian, Portrait of a Scotsman.
Yes.
Darker Shade
of Magic. And now this. Okay, cool. I swear on my life, I wrote that this was book 4 in my notes and I don't see it. So clearly I made that up, but it was right. Okay, so yeah, book discussion number 4, The Kiss Quotient by Helen, is it Hoang?
Or Hoang.
I think it's Hoang.
Helen
Hoang.
I apologize. I usually look up how to pronounce people's names before we do this and I forgot. Okay, so overall thoughts. Who would like to go first?
Well, this is Elaine's book.
This was Elaine's book.
And I think she should let us know. Well, first we have to tell people what it's about.
Oh, that's true.
And then why she picked it.
Basically, it's about the main character, Stella Lane, who is part of the autism spectrum. She has Asperger's, which is considered high functioning. And her parents are sort of forcing her to get into a relationship, and because they want grandbabies. And so in order for her to practice being in a relationship, she hires a male escort to help her out. That's basically what the story is about.
Yes.
And the escort's name is...
Michael.
Oh, yeah. It's Michael... What was it? Larson?
His real name, was Michael Larson.
Oh. And so I picked it. It's been on my TBR for a while. I think I had looked up that April was Autism Spectrum Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And so I thought this would be a good a good choice because it had autism representation in the book.
So what'd you think? Did you
Also, as I was reading through this, I was seeing some of myself in Stella, and I'm like, uh-oh. Make some things about ourselves.
Well, it's like, did any of y'all read the author's note in the back?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Okay.
Yeah, because she talks about how like her daughter, I think, was potentially diagnosed, but then got a second opinion, and they said no. But she went down this like rabbit hole of like researching about autism and Asperger's, and now she's like in her 30s, and she got diagnosed with Asperger's as well. So she is part of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Although I recently had a presentation on disabilities from our museum. We're not supposed to say Asperger's anymore. It's a dated term. Now we just say like autism spectrum disorder.
Well, it even says on here like high functioning autism, which was known as Asperger's syndrome. Yeah. Which I just found out too. Y'all guys know my sister was diagnosed with Asperger's when she was like 4 or 6.
Yeah.
And so I've always known it as Asperger's. I didn't know it was a new term. I didn't know the high functioning term.
Yeah, so high functioning autism means it's like high functioning low threshold, I believe. That's what it's called. That's how it's like referred. And there's like low functioning high threshold.
Mm-hmm.
So like high functioning low threshold, it's like, you know, they can take care of themselves, they can hold a job, they even have friends, they have relationships. There's just like certain behaviors that they still display, or they may be particular about certain things, and they could still be sensitive to like light or sound or touch or smells. So if they have to be like aware of things like that. And then low functioning high threshold means that they probably more than likely need supervision throughout the day, or aren't able, or need some kind of like assistance to get through their day, or they can actually be pretty independent, but they're not there's still something about them that like prevents them from doing what the high functioning people do.
Okay.
Also, like, it's supposed to be like a people first language. So instead of saying like he's autistic, you could say they're a person with autism.
Okay. The author's note talks about that.
Yeah. It's supposed to like humanize people because, they are people. So,
yeah.
They should be treated respectfully. And you should never use words like, I don't know if there's any words in particular that I could think of that are trying to be reclaimed by the autism community. I know that there are some people with physical disabilities who are trying to reclaim the word cripple. But it's like, you can't say that word if you're able-bodied. Only people who are not able-bodied can say cripple. So, and then I think, like, if you are not of the deaf community, but I don't even know if they say deaf anymore. I think they say just hard of hearing.
That's what I've always heard of is as hard of hearing.
I feel like I've heard hearing impaired.
And hearing impaired, yeah.
You're not supposed to say that anymore either. Yeah, instead of saying deaf, you say hard of hearing, and only deaf people can say they're deaf.
Okay.
And then instead of saying blind, you say low or no vision.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we were also told, like, never assume someone is like suffering with any kind of condition, because they could be living a fulfilling, happy life. And to assume someone is suffering is like a pretty dick move. So never say like anyone suffers with immobility or suffers with no vision. It's like, wait, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're
my life is good.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Or they suffer from autism, and that person with autism is like, I'm feeling pretty great. Like I'm not.
Yeah. They're not suffering.
Yeah, it's like, okay, rude. I'm a totally functioning human being. I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, you're of course like never say the R word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never have your name to say the R word,
Yeah.
and then try to remove words like crazy or insane or bipolar or OCD from your vocabulary, or like, oh, that's so lame. Like try to, or like that's dumb. Like you're not supposed to say those words anymore. You could say like, oh, that was so chaotic. So instead of saying like, oh, that was so insane, you could say like, that was wild, or
Yeah.
something like that. And like don't say like, oh, I'm so dumb. You could be like, oh, I'm so silly. So things like that.
Okay.
We just had a whole thing on it,
Yeah.
and it's so fascinating. And like things doing in the art world to like make things more accessible to all people.
Yeah.
Oh, and we just had like so like at my museum, second Thursday is like a big like event day, and they stay open late, and they have like a theme for every second Thursday. And yesterday was meetup at the museum, and it was a meetup for neurodivergent adults.
Aww.
It's like, oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
So they have like sensory safe activities to do, and of course they have food and alcohol because yum. So they're like, yeah, it's an opportunity for neurodivergent adults to come and hang out. And they didn't have sometimes they have a DJ, but instead of a DJ they just had like really nice like folk music.
That's cute. That's cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, it's cool. I mean, I like learning about this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since I might have some neurodivergency. I can learn more about it. But yeah, okay, anyway, yeah, I got a bit of a tangent.
You're fine.
It's just also like to anyone who's listening, if we at any point say something incorrectly, it's not intentional.
Yeah.
I'm open to learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we know people in these communities, but as far as we know, we're not of these communities.
Yeah.
Just know like everything that's said, it's said with love.
All right. So, overall thoughts on the book. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I think what I said in the Discord, there was a couple of and I tabbed them moments where I was rolling my eyes, but
I knew from like the first kiss. I'm like, oh, he's gone.
Oh,
he's already.
Yeah. The fact that she was just, I think, like so considerate of him, and he wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think helped a lot. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was good. I thought it was cute.
That's cute.
The first time they hook up, like fully hook up, I'm like, girl, get it.
I know, right?
Girl,
get it.
Yes. Enjoy yourself. Do it.
Like, so it starts off with like her at breakfast with her parents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So it starts off with her at breakfast with her parents, and I don't know. I really disliked the way her mom like talked to her. I don't know. I totally get it. Like the pressure that gets put on you from some parents or whatever about like getting married, having children, blah, blah, blah. My parents luckily have never cared about that or have ever like, when y'all gonna have kids or anything. And my parents are like, we want to have kids, that's great. If not, like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
My husband's family, however, is quite like Stella's mom. If any of y'all listen to this, love y'all, but damn, did y'all not shut up about when are we gonna have kids and shit. for a good part of the beginning of mine and Steven's relationship. Like before we were even married. They were like, so y'all are gonna get married and have kids, right? I'm like, can we like do one thing at a time, please?
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool.
I get that. And I am single AF. Like, I get that from my parents, from other people who have no business talking about my life.
I just
and they're like, first of all, no. And I don't even have a partner. Like,
yeah. Well, imagine how much work it'll be when you do.
Oh yeah. My parents are pretty good.
And like, first of all, like, there is no way I'm having a kid if I don't have a good partner.
Yeah.
Like, if my partner's not going to step up, not happening. Like, I'm okay with you being selfish as long as I get to be selfish too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like, so
no.
I had a coworker once who like he has a kid and he had asked like, oh, are y'all planning on having kids or whatever? I was like, no. I go, I'm selfish. I don't want children. He goes, no. You're not selfish. You just know that that's not what you want. And I was like,
yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Most people tell me I'm selfish. Like, it's not that I don't want to share my life with another human being. I am married. But
you have a husband.
I don't know. I have no like urge or desire to have kids. I wanted kids when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like if you had asked me at 18 if I ever imagined being 33 and kidless, I would have told you no. I would have had 2 kids by now. Like that was the plan. Get married, have at least 2 kids. And then like I don't know, as the years kept going by, I was like, you know what? I don't think I want children. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of responsibility. Like I'd like to just take care of myself. So, no kids.
It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and also our government is not making it safe for me to have a child.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of mine and Steven's relationship, like you know, his family would be all like, "Oh, when are y'all gonna have kids? When y'all have kids?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm like we're not ready for that." And then his aunts or whatever would be like, "Oh, well, you're never really ready." And I'm like, "Well, there's your answer." Then never having kids. I remember when my sister-in-law was pregnant with her second child, and we were at her baby shower, and so he just turned 5. So 5 years ago, my husband aunt at the baby shower was like, I have it on good authority from God that y'all are gonna have a baby this year. And I'm like, interesting. I didn't realize I invited him into my bedroom. What?
What?
Is he gonna turn my birth control into sugar tablets? Like what? Guess what? 5 years later, still no kids.
Like, unless you're me or my partner, you have no business talking to me about my birth plan.
Yeah. I feel like
because I've read some instances where like they're when are you having kids, not knowing that those people are like struggling to conceive. And it's a real sore spot for people, or they just had a miscarriage and it's a sore spot for people. Like, you don't know what that person's going through. Shut up.
Yeah
It's none of your business. Not unless they want to share it with you.
I had a friend who they were actively trying, and people knew that they were trying, and that it was a little hard or whatever. And so she started, when people asked like, oh, like, are you pregnant yet? Like, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and they're like, we thought you'd be pregnant by now or something. She goes, I thought so too. I keep swallowing, but nothing's happening. She's like, Jesus fucking Christ, y'all. Like, I'm trying. Like, we are trying.
Yeah,
please stop asking.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. Yeah. So I really, like, right off the bat, I was like, ooh, I don't like her mom right now.
Yeah.
Like, can we calm down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then immediately in the same chapter, so like she's at breakfast with her parents, and then it's a weekend and she goes into work because she's super hyper focused on working and stuff. And then that fucking dickhead Philip James,
Yeah.
or whatever, is that what his full name is? Yeah, Philip James,
Yeah.
being like, "Tell me, are you still a virgin, Stella?" Excuse me?
Right.
That's none of your fucking business.
No.
Do you want me to go to HR?
Like, Philip, you go. You take your box of condoms that for some reason you left at work. Excuse me?
Right.
What?
That's gross.
Like, no. I literally, my note says, fuck this guy. Right off the bat, especially because that's the guy that her parents are like, why don't you date Philip?
Right.
He seems really nice.
No.
And then he said that, and I was
No.
like, Philip doesn't seem very nice.
No.
Okay.
Philip has a motive, and I'm not interested. And also, like, we're led to believe that she dresses really like a sexy librarian. So there's like no reason that she shouldn't have a man.
Yeah.
It's like maybe she just likes dressing that way.
Right. I don't know. I appreciated the communication at the beginning that they, like, her and Michael have with each other once they like meet and stuff, and like they have the dinner, and then she's telling him like about her experiences and like why she doesn't like, French kissing and all that kind of stuff. And then he like is very like upfront about like, like, oh, I'm going to kiss you again. And like he knew he needed to just be like forward with her, and he's like, French kissing, being very clear.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel at some point the communication died.
Mhm.
And so there was plenty of times where I was just like, they're both like, oh, he doesn't love me because of this, and she could never love me because my past. And I'm like, you don't fucking know your past. You don't tell anybody your past until like
I know.
chapter 28.
I know.
Like,
Well, and then he does the big reveal, like, my dad's a con man.
I don't
and she's just
care.
like,
okay. Yeah, she's
okay.
like, all right, like when they were obviously like when they were watching that movie or show or whatever, there was foreshadowing kind of where, she says something like, well, like, why can't they be together? And he goes, well, because her dad's a bad guy. And she's like, so? Like, that doesn't mean
Yeah.
she's bad. They couldn't work it out.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Yeah.
listen to what she's saying,
Right.
Michael. Listen to the words that are coming out of her mouth.
This woman, throughout from the first to the end of the book, she is nothing but very honest.
Yeah.
From the very beginning. There's no subtext. There's no double speak. There's no, well, I'm just going to say this to make him happy.
Yeah.
Like, she says exactly what she's thinking,
Yes.
which I appreciate.
Yeah. I know.
And that's where I'm like, shit, I do that.
I fucking loved when they had their like second date or whatever, and she had like the lesson plans.
Yeah, the lesson plans.
I was like, oh, that's a woman after my own heart. I love lists and breakdowns of shit.
Well, I mean, she's a very methodical and logical person.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yeah, I really love Stella.
Yeah, like, I could just see, like, I could envision her reaction to some of the stuff that Michael says, and she's just looking at him like, blink, blink.
Yeah.
Like, processing. And then she's like, well, doesn't he make a comment about something in her lesson plan? And she's like, oh, well, I guess I kind of meant that. And he's like, I was joking.
Yeah. Yes.
And then she just, like, blinks at him like, what?
Oh, wait.
I want to be like, Stella, you're not autistic. You're just a Virgo. No. But yeah, I would be friends with Stella.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't have many friends because she doesn't keep up the relationship on her end, or they find out that she has autism, or for whatever reason, or they think she's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, I could be your friend. But then I remember, like, like calls to like. And a lot of my friends have some kind of neurodivergency or mental illness, and I'm just like, oh, Well, you know what? It's okay. We all have each other.
Honestly, Stella, we could just go to Stella's house. I'll just lay on her couch and she can play me piano for hours. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, see, we could have a friendship where we don't have to talk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
You just sit and
Like,
chill.
we could do, and I don't like loud clubs either.
Yeah.
I
me either.
was waiting for us to segue into that because, like, excuse me,
Mhm.
Michael.
I know.
You thought going over there to your ex-client was gonna diffuse the situation?
No.
And then, like, her putting her hands on him and stuff, you don't think to be like, hey, like, I'm not here with you. Like, please don't touch me right now. Like, oh, I'm so mad. I was so mad.
Me too.
And then him what I think what pissed me off was, like, later he says, because, like, okay, so he walks over to the ex-client and she starts getting handsy with him or whatever, and then Stella, like, sees her and him kiss, so she, like, bolts, and she's already on the verge of a panic attack because of the overstimulation of the club, and his cousin's there, so he goes with her and they get outside or whatever, and then Michael, tracks them down. He was like, you're just going to leave? Like, you weren't going to say anything? And then, like, immediately in the next chapter, he's like, the last person to leave him had been his dad, but where Michael's dad had left him with an enormous mess to clean up, Stella had planned to leave him with her car and her credit card. Who did that? Even worse, he hadn't deserved it either time. Excuse me, sir?
Right.
If I am on a date with you and I see you making out with someone in the club,
you basically left her.
Yeah, whether you wanted it or not. Yeah, I'm fucking leaving. Bye. I'll pick up my car tomorrow.
Why couldn't you say, hey, my ex is here, just FYI, she's over there, I'm going to talk to her and be like, don't bother us.
Yeah, something.
Communicate.
Ooh, I would have started walking.
He didn't even have to go over to her. He could just be like, oh, that's an ex. It didn't end so great. She still is trying to, like, get at me, but I'm here with you. Don't worry.
I'm just like, I know in the book it says, like, the reason he went over there was, like, his fear that lady would come up to him, and since his cousin was there, his cousin doesn't know he does the escorting stuff.
Yeah.
So he was doing it for himself, like, whatever. But I'm just like, I mean, at first I was like, oh, what would she have done? And then you get to the end of the book and you're like, oh, this woman literally knows no boundaries whatsoever.
Nope.
None.
No.
Like, at the end of the book, when they're at the benefit, and I was like, I was like, the empty chair, I was like, oh, it's going to be his ex-girl, the ex-client or whatever. I was not prepared for it to be Philip's mom also.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Okay, didn't see that particular detail coming. But then, like, the fact
that was perfect.
Yeah, the fact though that she's, like, putting her hand on his leg and, like, going up to his crotch or something, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't care what his profession is. And I don't care if Stella was the one that was paying him to be there that night. He is not there with you.
Yeah.
Why do you think you can put your hands on him just because of a previous relationship y'all had as far as, like, client and whatever? Ooh. I would have bitch slapped that woman.
No. I knew, like, she was probably going to be some sort of problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, ugh.
And honestly, I was on Stella's side the entire time through this book. Yeah. Like, at no point, from Michael's point of view, where he's like, what the fuck? Oh, especially when she goes to have dinner with his family for the first time.
Oh.
That was so uncomfortable. I felt so bad for her.
I know.
I just wanted to crawl in a hole and never come out, because I was just like, I don't tend to feel, like, any sort of secondhand embarrassment. I felt so horrible for her in that encounter and how it went. Michael did nothing.
Yeah.
He did nothing to intervene.
Nothing to intervene. Nothing to, like, prepare her. I get it. I know at that point he didn't know anything necessarily, but he knew, like, loud noises bother her. He should have at least told her, be like, hey, my dad left. It was not a good situation. My mom is sick. Like,
Yeah.
don't bring up my dad or something.
Yeah,
Something.
it's like my sisters can be loud and talk over each other and fight.
Yeah, there was no warning
whatsoever. Yeah.
I would have wanted some sort of warning.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, like that honestly, being there would have agitated me.
yeah.
And then the grandma is listening to some like Chinese opera at full volume.
Yeah. I know. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think she turns it up at one point because like the one sister's like playing piano in the other room, and then the other sisters
Yeah.
are shouting at each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I would have also been just like, okay, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta leave. I can't do this. Like I would have lost it because so much that was going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And then he just kind of like abandons her, and she's like left in the kitchen to hang out, and it's like I don't know what to do with these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't really. He just kind of like says her name, like Stella. We don't talk about that. And it's just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
why wasn't I told before?
Could have told me before I showed up,
right?
thanks.
Yeah, it's like I just made your mom cry. Maybe we talk about topics that would, avoid.
Yeah. I did think it was sweet though that she like went to the dry cleaner and apologized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Poor Stella.
Mm.
And then of course, like his family was on her side.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You messed up, and they're like, Michael, what you did here was mean.
Yeah.
He's like, what did I do? And they're like, you know what you
did.
did.
I do love though that he cooks, and he's like, how like none of them can cook. I had to find some way to survive or whatever. So I was like, I put in here, I was like, I am a sucker for a man that can cook. I do like when the men can cook.
Yes.
But
It's so nice when I don't have to cook for
Yes.
myself.
I know, right?
Me too.
And then this part reminded me also of another encounter with my husband's family where I forget where they're it's when he re-invites her, I think, to his mom's house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you're a good cook, and his mom's like, Michael's very good with his hands. And then Sophie was like, rolled her eyes before she smirked suggestively and asked Stella, do you agree? Is he good with his hands? And I'm like, oh my God. At Easter, my nephews got like ring pops or something. And my one nephew was trying to bite into it. And Steven's mom like, no, you have to lick it like a lollipop. And I'm like, no, stop. Stop. And then someone said another line from the Candy Shop song. And I'm like, no, we're stop now. This is Easter. What are y'all doing? I know I just read Easter Bunny smut, but
That's horrible.
oh, his family's freaking hilarious.
All the food that they made in this, because Michael's half Vietnamese.
Yes.
And his mom was a Vietnamese one. So, and then like all the food that they were making, like dumplings and soup, and it just sounded so
Noodles.
good.
Yes.
And I got hungry.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so easily influenced by food and books.
Even if like it's a road trip thing, and they're eating just like bread, cheese, and fruit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds, and like cured meat. I'm like, that sounds so good.
Delicious. I could live like this. Where it's like, oh, crusty bread and a bowl of stew. I'm like, yeah.
I could totally go for some soup right now. Like a bowl of pho would be incredible.
That would be good. That'd probably be good for you.
Or ramen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have soup that I make, but it's not like
it's not the same.
It's missing something. It's not.
It's not the same. I also liked that she started to like try new things because of him. Like he introduced her to yoga clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, these are
I know.
amazing.
She's like, I love them. I'm like, how did she not get this before?
Also, I found it like funny that like everybody around them, everybody that witnessed them together or encountered them together, like could just obviously see like how in love they were with each other.
Mhm.
And both of
Yeah.
them are like, no, we're just faking it. And I'm like, no one's that good. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all are not professional
No,
actors.
like-
No one's that good. If I am trying on clothes in a store and the person that works there is just like mouths to me like how lucky I am.
So lucky.
Yeah. No one's faking anything that
Yeah.
good. I'm sorry.
I don't think Michael was faking.
No,
Like,
No.
that's
at
just
all.
it. Like he wasn't, but they were like, no, this isn't real.
Yeah.
She doesn't really love
Well,
me.
she was the one that kept insisting that it wasn't real because, again, he failed to communicate his feelings.
Yeah.
But I do like how she's like, okay, I like him. I want to keep him. I'm obsessed. I will seduce him to like me. And she's like, how
Yes.
do I do this if he keeps seducing me?
I'm like, yes, Stella.
I love that she like looks it up.
Yes.
Like how does she's like, there's so much conflicting information. And then she buys some
Oh,
underwear.
yes. So cute.
Oh, I know. Because she's like, oh, you buy stuff for people you
Mhm.
love.
Yeah. Well, it also had to do with that project she was working on.
Yeah.
How men stop buying themselves underwear or whatever when they get in a relationship because their significant other ends up buying it for them. Which is funny. I don't think I've ever bought Steven underwear. I bought him socks. Does that count? Oh, and then him keeping the car.
Oh yeah, the ex-client car. I know.
What's her
Oh,
name?
yeah.
I was like, I know he
But
needs a car.
come
But
on.
it feels weird. Feels
Yeah,
weird.
at the end he ends up trading it and gets it cheaper. And I was like, you couldn't do that like
Yeah.
sooner.
Well, I mean, I guess he didn't really have, like, incentives before.
No, that's true. That's true. I feel like, I don't know. I personally would have been like, all right, we're getting something different. Like, I don't want the car that this woman gave me. And then, can we just, I'm like going through my notes in the book, like in chronological order.
Mhm.
Philip, like,
Mhm.
I need an explanation as to what the fuck is going on in that stupid man's brain when she's leaving to have dinner with Michael and he like walks out of the office with her because she like has her hair down or whatever, and he's like, you're heading out early today, and she's like, I have dinner plans, and he like, it says Philip's light eyes tracked over her in a thorough sweep, meeting someone, and she is like, yeah. He's like, took my advice, huh? And she goes, I did actually, thanks. He goes, you're surprising, Stella, and you look good with your hair down. And I'm just like, go away,
Go away.
you sleazeball. Go away. She just said she has dinner plans with
Mhm.
somebody. Like,
I hate too that he's like, oh, you're going to be with me. And it's like, no, she's not.
yeah, he is so pushy.
No.
So pushy. Ugh.
Well, and the fact that, like, Stella, like, objectively is like, maybe. And then she's like, hell no.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. No. Ugh. Philip is so great. I think at one point I'm like, ew, Philip.
Yeah, ew. Stop it.
Can we talk about the first time that they fully get it on?
Yes.
Because I was like,
Yes.
yes, Stella, yes.
Because the first time they really do anything is at her house, right?
Yeah.
It's after the second
Mhm.
dinner, right?
Yeah. Because she fell asleep again and they didn't do anything.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Right?
So like they have the second dinner at his mom's house. Yeah. So they have the second dinner at his mom's house and he's like, I'll drive you home. And they get caught in the driveway making out in the car because his sister comes out there and she's like, excuse me, your headlights are in grandma's bedroom. Like, can you leave? And then she texts him later. She's like, geez, Michael, go easy on her. You'll scare her away. And we really like her. Honestly, in the driveway, what are you, 13?
I love his face.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, she falls asleep in the car. And then is it the next morning?
Yeah, because I think they go to sleep and then they wake up and she's like, can we brush our teeth, shower, and get dressed? And then it's after that they like start making out and they do it.
Like he goes down on her first and he's like, let me just try it. And if you hate it, I'll stop.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, she does not hate it.
Yeah, I tabbed that. Clearly you hate this.
It's awful. Do it again.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that because at this point he knows. She doesn't know that he knows about her being autistic, but he knows. And so he's like, okay, I know she's not going to want to like have eye contact. Yeah. So I'm going to put her on her hands and knees and do her from behind. I was like, how considerate, sir. How thoughtful. So yeah.
But he makes it really like romantic.
I mean, he makes it like all about her, and I thought that was really, really sweet.
Yeah. Because, like that's not known for being the most like intimate position or the most like it's hard to make that position cute sometimes.
No, yeah, totally.
I guess depending on the situation, but yeah.
I did like, even though he's like a male escort or whatever, so obviously he gets paid for him to make it all about, pleasing somebody else. Yeah, because
he even says like, I want to give you fireworks for their first time, and it's so cute. It's like, oh
yeah, I just read that line. Yeah, it's like for once he's not doing it because like he has to. He wants to actually make her enjoy this moment. That's like, I liked your question about because in the back of the book, in the author's like discussion stuff, she talks about like gender swapping Pretty Woman, and I reading that line or whatever and her thought on that, and then the question that she asked or whatever. Okay, yeah, I totally see that. Did I catch that at first? No, because it's been years since I have seen Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Well, also, unlike Richard Gere, Stella's a good person.
This is also true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because Richard Gere in that movie is just he's gross to me. I
legitimately remember absolutely nothing of that movie other than the premise of it.
I watched Pretty Woman for the first time when I saw this as a gender swap. I knew the premise of Pretty Woman, but I actually never watched it.
Oh, okay.
So I like watched it, and I was just like, "Oh wow, this is so 90s."
Yeah. Especially the hair.
I will say though, one of the best scenes still is and the one thing I do remember from that movie is like when she goes shopping. And they treat her all poorly, and she's just like, okay.
Then she goes back, and it's like, you work commission, don't you? Well, you just screwed up. Big mistake.
Yeah, big mistake.
I like all his my Stella as well.
Yeah,
so cute.
Oh, and then like his family like completely claiming her. Like, there's one point his mom says, like, my Stella.
Yeah.
And then there's another conversation she has with, like, one of the sisters where she's like, you're something too as well. And she's like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, that's Michael's number. And because you're his, like, you get the same number. And I'm like, his family.
I would love to be in that family.
Yeah, right?
Once you get over the initial shock,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, I'm fine.
Also, one of the sisters is like into the same profession as her, so
Yes.
she has like someone she can like talk work to, and she loves her work, so it'll be so cool.
I like that Stella, you know, goes through the process of getting like an internship position open, and she's like, okay, we're gonna be fair, like I'll interview other people or whatever, but you know, Michael's sister ends up being the perfect fit, and then she like tells him like, yeah, I got, and this is after they broke up or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I got an internship there. She's like, all my professors are even jealous, and I was like, y'all are so cute.
Well, and then she was like, oh, you're still gonna give her the internship even though we're not together? And she's like,
She earned it.
Yeah,
Like,
she earned
she
it.
was the best candidate.
Like, I'm not an asshole.
Like, I didn't give her anything. The sister explains it. Like, you know, I had an interview with 6 people and they all unanimously had to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, just because we broke up doesn't mean we want to take an opportunity away from their sister.
Yeah. And the mother as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because she donates all that money.
Yeah, I was going to get to that in a second. She donates her entire, like, what
trust
was it?
Fund.
Something billion trust fund.
Yeah.
To create a program that helps families with their like medical bills that are having like, you know, cancer and stuff like that. And the second it was like the lady was explaining it to Michael and he's like, yeah, y'all been chosen for this program or whatever. And I was like, this is Stella.
Yeah. I was like, it has to be Stella.
This has, I don't know how.
Yeah.
This has Stella written all over it. I was like, maybe her mom or dad, like to try to make up for being dickheads at the benefit. But then I was like, no, it's got to be Stella. It's got to be Stella. And then, yeah, she tells him or whatever. And he was like, that was you? And I'm like, shame on you, Michael, first off, for not telling your mom. Like, I get why he doesn't tell his mom, like, hey, you don't have medical insurance that's going to cover any of this.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I get really upset about stuff like that because, like, I get that he doesn't want to tell her because he doesn't want her to worry and whatever. But, like, I know you don't want to tell them because you don't want to worry them. But, like, if you don't tell them, what if something ends up becoming serious? Like, I was a little, like, I get that you don't want to worry your mom, but, like, she's your mom. Like, she deserves to know, like, nothing's being covered. But you just be like, hey, like, insurance isn't going to be covering everything or you don't have it, whatever. Like,
don't worry, I got you. Yeah.
we'll take care of this, you know? She doesn't need to know how much or how bad I guess necessarily it is, but like she deserves to know. So that kind of like,
well, I like how Stella's just casually like, yeah, I make more than enough money, so
she's like, it's just money. Like I can get by on my salary.
Yeah, she was gonna pay him $50,000. Like, damn.
I read that part. I looked at Steve and I'm like, listen. If you or I are ever in a position where someone wants to pay $50,000 for us to be their fake significant other, we're doing it. I'm doing it. You're doing it. Whatever the situation is.
Like 6 weeks too. It was supposed to be like 6 weeks for $50,000, and I'm like, I'll do it.
I will be your fake girlfriend. I don't care. I'm not gonna be able to give you quite the same sexual experiences, but. Oh. It's fine.
Like, I'll give you the girlfriend experience.
Right, yes.
But I'm not going to specify at which point in the relationship the girlfriend experience.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no. We're 10 years in, and I'm just sitting on the couch in my sweats, and I haven't showered, and I'm reading, and you're playing a video game.
Yeah.
You asked for the girlfriend experience.
Right. That's what you get.
I love Stella. Like, everything is just so. I mean, she does have some internal conflict, like for the week that they're not together, and she purposefully makes herself uncomfortable to try and be like, normal.
Yeah.
And so that broke my heart. It's like, no, you're perfect the way you are.
It really upset me, this whole line where she's like, her inner thoughts, and it's like, would she suddenly become unsuitable for her son? What kind of mother wanted an autistic daughter-in-law and possibly autistic grandbabies?
Mm,
I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
Stella. And I felt like she has those feelings because of the way like her parents
Yeah.
treat her
Yeah.
to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's such a good
She
person.
is.
She's very thoughtful and considerate of others because, you know, she's like, ooh, that's something
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't like, or that's something that would make me uncomfortable. So,
Or she's just, you know, very aware that like, oh, certain things make me uncomfortable. Like, I should see if this person is uncomfortable by anything, you know? Like,
yeah.
she was very thoughtful about other people.
Yeah. And then, like, once the first interaction with his family blew over, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they saw, like, oh, she's
Yeah.
great. And she was able to interact
Yeah.
with them in
Mm-hmm.
a better way and in a thoughtful way.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, she paid off his mom's medical bills. Like, whoa, yeah. When he was, you know, when Michael was spiraling and he was like, "I don't deserve her," I'm like, "You're right, but for the reasons that you
Yeah.
don't think."
When she's at his place and he's going to the car to get the condoms, and she sees the medical bills,
Yes.
and right away she's just like, "How can I help? How can I fix this problem for him?" And it's just like, you don't have to do that, but she's so
Yeah.
considerate. She's just like, I need to help him. It's like, oh,
And she's so smart too. Like she puts two and two together. Like, oh, like
yes.
he's doing the escort thing because he's paying for his mom's medical bills.
She's like, oh my gosh, he loves his mom so much. And I love that.
Yeah. Which there's a line that he says at the benefit to himself. He, you know, he's talking to her parents or whatever, and they're sitting at the table. He says, you know, like he's talking to him or whatever inside his own head. He's like, you know, his mom said she didn't need him at the shop, but with her sickness, he needed to keep an eye on her. He'd run across her unconscious body in the bathroom twice. If he hadn't, who knows, or who knew what would have happened. Ambition could wait. He only had one mom. And I'm like, that's right, Michael. You only have one mom. You can make clothes some other time.
Yeah. Also, like, she didn't care about the escort
No,
thing.
not at all.
Yeah.
She only cared about the ex when he made it a big deal.
Right. She doesn't care. He's got experience. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't care. If you've had one partner, no partners. If you've had more, like, it doesn't bother me. Whatever.
Body counts mean nothing.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
No. Like, I could care less.
I think that's what, like, from the get-go, because I have my page open here to Philip again. Like, I obviously like what he says to her in the beginning. Starts us down this whole book. He had never said that or whatever. The same morning, her parents were pressuring her, you know, to get married and have kids. Like, this book wouldn't have happened. But like, I still just like, I can't imagine just being at work on a Saturday morning, minding my own business, and someone's like, have you slept with anyone before? Maybe you should give it a practice, give it a try. I'm like, no, Philip, that's none of your business.
Yeah. We're not cool like that. We don't talk about that stuff.
Right? So the particular page I have my book open to right now is like when she's gonna go have lunch with Michael. And so she's leaving the building and Philip like follows her out and he's like, oh, like, where are you going? She's like, I'm meeting someone. She's like, the same guy? She's like, yeah. He's like, oh, lucky guy, blah blah blah. And then like professes his feelings for her. And he's like, you know, what is it? You're a 10 for me or whatever. I've liked you for a long time. She's like, why are you telling me this now? We've worked together for years. Like, he's like, because I have issues. My tongue ties up when I'm with you, and all that comes out is asshole garbage. I was waiting for you to ask me out because I'm insecure, but I'm asking you now. And I'm like, she literally just told you she's going to lunch with the guy that she is dating, and now you're gonna ask her out on the date.
I think it was because, like, you know, she had the audacity to find someone who was actually into her.
Right? Well, like, and then the very next page, you know, he's like, I assure you he's just a phase. You're not in love. And she's like,
yeah, no thank you.
Like, how could you be so sure it's not love? And he's like, I know, because I'm the one you're going to fall in love with. Me.
No, thank you.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Where do you get off? Like, what out of any of your interactions has led you to think that Stella's gonna fall in love with you? Like, sorry.
I also hate that they went on one date. It didn't go well, right? And she gets flowers for Michael at work, and he's just like, what are you doing? Like, we're dating. And she's like, no, we're not. Like, we went on one date. That doesn't mean we're together. Like, no. And it didn't work out.
We went on one date. It wasn't that great. You talked about yourself the whole time. You tried to kiss me. I did not want you to kiss me. I'd like to say, though, I did call it. Like, at the beginning of that chapter,
They're
going to
run into each other.
Michael's going to go out with his cousin. And then she's like, you want to go to dinner, Philip? And I was like, oh, they're going to run into each other. And then fucking Michael punching him in the face. Chef's kisses. And then him showing up the next day with a black eye. Like, yeah, fuck you, Philip. Fuck you, Philip.
Yeah, well, I like that his reaction wasn't to be like, oh, Stella, you've moved on. He's like, Stella, I'm going to punch this guy for you.
Right?
I do like the cousin that's like, tries to stop him, and he's like, okay, he deserves it at this point.
Yes.
And just lets him go.
Yeah, never mind. He deserves it.
That's it. But unplugged this entire time.
No, so I moved it, and then it unplugged.
It should be fine. It's not saying anything's wrong.
No, it's fine. Wait.
Press the button there.
What?
No, I think it has been unplugged this whole time.
That's okay. It should still have recorded, like, through your computer.
Well, I mean, the little purple box lit up, but...
I mean, I guess I'll check it after we get done tonight and make sure.
We recorded
it just probably used your computer.
I think it'll be okay.
I'm gonna sound like I'm underwater.
It might sound a little weird. I'll do what I can in DaVinci to try to fix it if it sounds weird.
Well, I used echo cancellation.
That'll help.
Oh no!
That is so funny.
Oh, I plugged it in, but then I realized the green light wasn't on, and I thought that was because I wasn't using. I thought it was because I wasn't using headphones.
Oh no! Yeah, the green light is your you can to mute you. So like if it's red, it's muted. If it's green, it's on.
Well, I'm apologizing to future editing Ashley.
It should be okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, yeah. Before they break up, and he designs the dress for her to wear to the benefit. I'm just like, oh, and
it's like, girl, you have like a perfect man. And
her mom like complimenting her, and she's like, he made it.
Yeah.
After, the whole thing with the ex-client, what is it, Eliza or whatever, Philip's mom, at the benefit table and stuff, and like they break up. Stella goes back, and she's just like, well, we just broke up, and like Philip and her dad are like, oh, it's great, like he wasn't good enough for you, blah blah blah, and she like explains to him like everything he's got going on in his life with like, you know, quitting his designing stuff in New York to come back home to take care of his mom because she has cancer. And he's like, well, why wouldn't she say that? And then finally her mom is like, why would he want to share that with people who are looking down on him? And he's like, I wasn't. She's like, that's enough, Edward. It was obvious what you were thinking. You want her to be with someone driven and career focused, someone who can take care of her. You don't seem to realize she's driven enough on her own. And I was like, yeah,
Yes.
go Stella's mom. And then literally you turn the page.
Yeah.
You turn the page and you're like, God damn
I
it,
know.
Stella's mom. Why'd we revert back? I was like, oh, and we're back. Because she's like, what did she say? Like, I'm so sorry. I've always wanted an artist for you. Someone sensitive, blah, blah, blah. Later, we can think up a strategic way to find the perfect person. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, Stella's mom. Like,
I know.
you did so good.
So good.
Well, she's
And then
doing
you
that mom thing, and she's like, oh, you know, like the mom thing that people do when you go through a breakup. Oh, we'll find someone for you.
I know, but
that's what I took it as.
but the way she acted at the beginning and then like reverting back to that like immediately, I was just like,
well,
stop it.
No, she was speaking Stella's language, though. We can find a strategic way.
But she also then suggested Tinder, which, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
Well,
you should really try Tinder, dear.
My mom had said that too. Why don't you try Tinder? No.
I did highlight my favorite line of the whole book, and it had me. If Steven hadn't been playing video games while I was reading this and something had happened and distracted me, I probably would have been bawling my eyes out a little bit because like they had just broken up and whatever. And she's talking with her mom, and you know, her mom's like, you'll find a better fit than him if you stay focused. And I highlighted, Stella said nothing. Michael was mint chocolate chip for her. She could try other flavors, but he'd always be her favorite. And I'm like, especially because mint chocolate chip's my favorite.
I love mint chocolate chip. People hate it. I'm like, why? It's so yummy.
I read that to Steven. He's like, oh, why mint chocolate chip? Because he hates mint chocolate chip. Which is perfect because, like I tell everybody, if I buy mint chocolate chip ice cream, I don't have to share it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I read that line and I was just like, like that's so sweet. But yeah, that then brings us to like her making herself intentionally uncomfortable to try to
change.
Yeah, trying to change who she is because she's, you know, convinced that Michael didn't want to be with her, that she wasn't enough.
I do love that when he does come back to try to woo her, the first thing she asks is, are you wearing the underwear I got you?
Yes!
And he shows her and she's like, he's wearing it. He does love me.
Yes.
It's like so cute.
I also liked his line in that moment because he's like unbuckling and unbuttoning and unzipping his pants. He's like, if I get arrested for like indecent exposure. Oh my God. That's some shit I would say. Like if I get in trouble right now because I'm taking off my pants in public so you can see if I'm wearing underwear that you bought me. Yeah, no, I thought this book was super, super cute.
I also like that he tells her that he's going to marry her. And she's like, why are you telling me? He's like, because you don't like surprises.
I loved that.
You need to plan for it.
You need to plan.
And I like the whole idea that like I forget where exactly it says it, but basically, you know, like, so she starts that medical program that helps families pay for their stuff, and his mom's, you know, picked, obviously. So Michael doesn't have to worry about her medical bills anymore, and now he's like free to, you know, do his design stuff again for him. And like Stella at some point like is like, he was free to make a choice, and like he chose me. I was like, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Because he loves you. I just feel bad also, like, the amount of pressure that man put on himself, like, to take care of his family and also to just be like, oh, my dad was a bad person, so, like, I'm going to be a bad person. I'm like, at what point ever have you been a bad person. You literally, like, your mom, you went to New York, whatever. You paid for yourself to go through fashion school or whatever.
Yeah.
Your dad didn't pay for it because he didn't think you should do that. You went to New York, you're working for a designer, and the moment you found out your mom was sick, you dropped everything.
Yes.
And came back home to take care of her and take care of your family and do whatever you had to do to make sure they were living, like, okay. And I'm like, what makes you think you're a bad person? You're nothing like your father. Like, what?
That's one of the tropes that bothers me. Like, in this book and other books I've read, you know, badness is inherited or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we can inherit quirks from our parents, but I've always thought of myself as my own person. Like, I've never thought, like, oh, I'm just like my dad, or I'm just like my mom, or like, no, there are people in my family who are dicks.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'm going to be just like them. Like, no, like, get over yourselves. God.
Now, if his dad was taking him on cons and trying to, like, teach him to be a con artist, maybe.
Yeah. But even then, like, there, you know, like, I think in real life, there's been stories like that. Like, the kid still knows how to make better life choices and be a better person than the criminal parent.
This is true. This is very true.
Also, like, surrounded by his mom and his sisters and his grandma, like, loudness aside, overall it seems like a pretty good environment to be in.
Yeah.
And it's like, could you, like, you're in that environment with your sisters and your mom and your grandma, like, they're not gonna let you turn bad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, especially all this shit his sister Sophia gives him.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I guess I get to some extent him being worried that, like, he'd be willing to do, like, bad stuff if it meant he could help his mom, maybe. But yeah, I was just like, you're not a bad person. You're not just, like, automatically gonna be a bad person just because your dad was a con artist or whatever and was a piece of shit. But
yeah.
Right. If you don't want to be that, then you don't have to be that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did want to talk a little bit, Elaine, in your discussion questions that you made for us. You said that you felt like the focus switched from Stella to Michael.
Yeah, because it was like about Stella's problem, and then I feel like it switched to all about Michael and how he doesn't think that he deserves love, because it was like, I feel like a lot of his inner monologue of being like, oh,
I definitely agree.
I don't deserve her, you know. Yeah.
No, I definitely saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you read another book by this author?
I'm thinking about it.
Yes, especially if the
would.
next book is about his cousin. I would want to be.
Is it? I feel like the next book is about one of his cousins, but I don't know if it's about.
It's about Kai.
It's about Kai. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's okay. So it's
and it has like a mail order bride situation.
It's like that's the younger cousin, right? That's Quinn's brother.
Oh
younger
yes,
brother,
Kai.
Quan?
Yeah.
Okay. I just I haven't read it yet. I just flipped through and I saw Quan's name a couple of times, so I thought maybe it was about him. But that makes more sense.
Quan is the third book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd probably read one of the others. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I did enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I would definitely read another one. I did like the representation a lot too. I've read like one other book about where it was about a person on the spectrum, and I feel like the author put every trait that this like people on the spectrum can have into this one person, and I was like, they don't always have all these things. Like his was like over the top, and I feel like that's not always the case, and so that was like really weird to read. But this one I felt like was like perfect, especially comparing like to my sister a bit. She does have like a routine. She can get obsessed about things. When we were younger, I can no longer watch the Balto and Dogs Go to Heaven, Balto and Dogs Go to Heaven movie because she would watch it constantly. Like she just
Those
became
are my
obsessed,
favorite.
and it was like on every day.
You let her know if she ever wants someone to watch them with. I'll come over.
I'm pretty sure it's fine now. But when we were a kid, I was just like, I don't want to watch this anymore. We can't watch this ever again. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. Funny. But yeah. But yeah. And the like wanting to please too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my sister's constantly looking for me and my mom's like approval of things. You know, like I'm the big sister, of course, too, as well. So she's like wants the approval.
Big sister gang.
That's right. We are all big sisters, aren't we?
We are.
We are all
big sisters.
Older sibling.
And all of us have younger sisters.
Yes.
We're all women.
Just one younger sister.
Yes.
I've noticed I tend to gravitate towards older siblings as friends.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know how. But, like, you two are the oldest, and then my friend Cynthia, she's the oldest.
It's because all of us have, like, deep down on some basic level, the same sort of, like, lived experiences, being the first child, the older sibling.
Yeah. And then Nico, she's an only child.
Okay.
But, you know, he has, like, older sibling energy. Because older sibling energy is like only child energy. Yeah. I tend to form bonds with, like, older siblings. I'm like, you guys know how it is, right?
Exactly. Okay, so I didn't know this, but you put on here that this is considered a TikTok hype book. Do you think it lived up to the hype? Or it was worth the hype? I don't know what they were hyping up, but I'm going to say yes.
I know. Apparently it was... Yeah. I just saw that when I was, like, looking up to see if there's any more discussion questions specifically on this book. And I was looking at videos, too, on Instagram, and it was, like, TikTok hype videos as well. So I was like, oh, I don't remember ever seeing this on TikTok, but okay.
I will say this is one, unlike the Love Hypothesis or the Spanish Love Deception or some others that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, I was glad it wasn't. First of all, I thought it was well written. And then I also liked the story and the character development.
Yeah.
And the only person I was frustrated with was Michael. Like, Stella was perfect in this. So, actually, no. I mean, I don't know if frustrated is the right word, but, like, for the week after they broke up and she was, like, trying to alter herself, I wanted to, like, give her, like, an air hug and be like, no, Stella, no. Don't do this.
I do like how she finally was just like, what am I doing? I'm not going to change for somebody, like, especially not a man. Like, I'm going to keep being me.
Yeah.
Never change for a man.
Never change for anybody. Just everyone just needs to be unapologetically themselves. And the people that are supposed to be in your life will flock to you.
Yeah, unless you're a dick, and then I think you'll figure it out.
Well, that's just it. Like, if you're a dick, then people are not going to flock to you.
Yeah.
But I would rather know that you're a dick, so I don't go anywhere near you, you know? So everyone keep being themselves. So if you're a shitty person, I will know to stay away. Yeah. Your last one here was, do y'all want to talk any more detail about the spice of the book? Like, I felt like it was pretty good compared to, like...
Yeah. I completely forgot about the spice of the book.
Spice to plot ratio, I felt like it was really good. Like, I didn't feel like the spice was, like, overpowering the story. Like, there is a story here, you know? But there is still, like, good spice in it. When
it's kind of
up,
part of the story as well. Like, which is kind of cool. Interesting as well.
Especially, like, I mean, it's all about her getting to safely explore, like, a sexual relationship with somebody who respects her and takes her comfort and her needs, like, into full consideration.
Yeah.
That's all anyone wants.
Exactly. I mean, that's basic human decency, but a lot of people don't get that.
I know.
Our society has done all of us real dirty.
Like, that's all I want. I might be joining the 4B movement. Who knows?
What?
What's that?
Oh, is that thing in Korea? Hold on. Let's see. I don't want to miss 4B movement. Basically, it started in South Korea, and it served as a response to the. So basically, women, part of this movement, reject these words. Instrumentalization of women's reproductive capacities and choose to distance themselves from a society they perceive as irredeemable. Basically, we're not having babies and men are horrible, so we're just gonna live our happy single selves.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah, and it's called the 4Bs. They stand for 4 principles, and the B's are Korean words.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to say it. Gosh, I'm trying my best. Bihon, which is no heterosexual marriage. Bichulsan, no childbirth. Biyone, no dating men. And bisexu, no heterosexual sexual relationships.
Okay.
And so now women in the United States are like, we love this. And funny thing is, certain men, instead of saying, wow, women are trying really hard not to date us and telling us we're horrible people, maybe we should change something about ourselves. No, they're doubling down on this high value men bullshit. And they're like, well, you know what? We're only going to date trad women. Or we're not going to date you either. And we're like, okay.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Like, you mean you're going to stop pursuing me and disturbing my peace? Love it.
Yeah, right? I don't see an issue here.
But that's just wild to me that some men are like, oh, women are actively trying not to date us. Maybe I should reevaluate who I am as a person and my approach to dating and my methods and, maybe do some self-reflection and go to therapy. They're like, well, fuck y'all. I'm going to be even worse of a person.
I keep coming across these videos of people talking about, they're like, where are the homebody women, the calm, down to earth? And people are like, they're at home. Like,
right?
They're at home.
They're exactly where you just said.
They're at home chilling.
No. What you really mean is you want a woman who's basically going to be your maid and your mother, and let you just like sit around on your ass and do nothing while they take care of everything and be chill about it. And basically like not call you out on not helping out around the house or pulling your weight in the relationship.
Mhm.
That's what you want. That's what you want. You don't want a real chill woman, because a chill woman is taken care of.
Yeah.
Or like men are mad because they cannot comprehend that women are choosing to be single because men aren't choosing to be single.
Oh.
So they're like, what is
that?
I just love how we're like weaponizing our collectively as women. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, do it.
All right. So what this week? Liana, would you like to go first?
Yeah. I just started a Fate Inked in Blood, and it is based on Norse mythology. And basically, it's about a shield maiden and being in an unwanted marriage and becoming a warrior and, accepting her destiny and using her power to become a badass. I'm only 10% in, but so far I like it.
I'm looking forward to that one because I really like her Bridge Kingdom series. Are you listening or watching to anything new?
Listening to anything new? No. Watching? No. I finished Law and Order.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
Original and SVU.
Look at you.
So now I don't know what multi-season, multi-year episodic television show to watch.
I'm currently reading She Who Became the Sun.
Ooh.
By Shelley Parker Chan. Yeah, it's for the library book club, so I'm reading that one.
I've heard really good things about that one.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but really good stuff. Supposed to be a reimagining of the Ming Dynasty.
Okay.
It's like in 1345 China is like the setting time. It's interesting.
Okay.
I like just started it the other day because it's about like a girl who becomes like an orphan and takes her brother's name to survive.
Okay.
Basically, it's like she's like, I am determined to survive, even if I have to become her brother. Basically.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting so far. And then, well, I got into a very true crime kick. I was talking to you about how I was listening to true crime documentaries on like Netflix.
Yeah.
I started watching some more. What's her name? Bailey Sarian, the Murder Mystery Makeup Monday.
Okay. I was like, I know y'all have mentioned that name.
I love her. I started watching
I love her.
more of her stuff too. I don't know, it's weird because every now and then I think I get too much murder, like true crime, and I'm like, I need to take a break, and then I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
So now I'm like back to watching a bunch of those. That's what I'm currently in the mood for right now.
Love it.
Yes, I love her. She keeps it so real.
I know, I love her. I don't even wear makeup. I don't have no interest in makeup, but I
like watching people.
I love watching her. Yeah, just doing the makeup and talking about.
I'll have to look her up. I've heard y'all mention her now more than once.
Mm-hmm.
She's great.
Yes.
I love her.
I am reading. Well, I am now going to be focusing more time on A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, book 2, A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm only in like chapter 1, but love Lila Bard so friggin' much.
I did like her. I liked her a lot.
34 pages in, and I am in love. This book starts off so good. What's it called? So yeah, I'm reading that. I got to start my book club pick, which is on the line. So that'll be interesting.
Tell me what you think after.
I will. I'm not looking forward to the Snickers thing, but yeah, we'll see. No one, I think I know one person in book club has already started it, but no one has said anything else. So I don't know when everyone's starting it, but I'll start that soon because there is not an audiobook, so I have to get it finished in time. I'm not really listening to anything. I've been doing a lot of the what's it called, the Spotify day lists, so I just keep getting a random assortment of music thrown at me at different times of the day. And watching, I just started, and literally, like, I've only watched the first episode, the second season of Bridgerton. Finally.
I was just thinking about starting that. I
really like season 1. I'm excited for this season, but while I was doing all the baking stuff, I was like, all right, I'm gonna put something on. So I got to watch one episode. So I'm watching that, and then I finished the my husband and I were watching the Fallout TV show on Amazon. It's based off video games that he absolutely loves, and it's pretty fucking good. I've watched him play the video games, and I've enjoyed that. And then watching the show, it is very gruesome. But it's really hilarious, and like the comedy of it is just very, like, some of it's just so out of nowhere. You're like, wait, what did they just say? That's really good. If anyone has Amazon and is able to watch that, you don't need to know anything about the video game in order to watch it or understand what's happening. I don't think. I mean, I have the added benefit that Steven will explain stuff to me or whatever. So, but I didn't feel like if he hadn't said that, I mean, eventually you'll figure out the different things that are going on. That was pretty good. It's only like 8 episodes, I think. They're all released. So if you like to binge watch stuff, it does end on the cliffhanger kind of though. So there's also that. I don't know when the second season's coming out, but it was good. But that's all I got going on that I can think of. I'm sure I'll start. Oh, I need to start, I guess. What is it? Tempting Ozed?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's book 4, right? In the Clickanian alien romance. I'm trying to do them in order.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I know.
I know Liana didn't do it in order.
I'm worried if I read other ones before some of, like, if I skipped ahead and read like Feiho or the Sick Than, like, I'm worried I won't go back to the other ones. So I'm trying to do them in order as much as possible.
I read them in order. I like reading things in order.
I'm excited about the Feiho one because of his extra I don't even know what you'd say. His extra added abilities.
Yeah, his enhanced abilities.
His body enhancement.
Well, fun fact, those aren't the only body enhancements.
Oh, I have other stuff to look forward to. Okay. I can see Elaine's like, wait. Oh, y'all. Feiho's what, book 5? Okay. How many hours is Ozed? Oh, that's funny. Okay. Tempting Ozed is only 9 hours and 54 minutes, and I'll have it sped up a little, so I should be able to get through that next week while I'm at work. All right. Is there anything else y'all would like to add about the Kiss Quotient or books in general?
I don't have anything.
Announcements? I guess let us know, Liana, whenever you pick your May book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, listener, for joining us. Please rate and review our podcast and follow us on our socials listed in the description. We also have a Discord if anyone wants to join for monthly book discussions. Please email or DM us topics, questions, and book recommendations. Have a lovely day and week. Until next time.
Bye.